Welcome along then. After all the celebrations and the parties and the functions, it's time to get down to the serious business and the real reason that we're here on the French Riviera. It's race time in Monaco, round 6 of the Formula One World Championship in 2018, and for 78 laps we're going to blast round this 2-mile circuit. One DRS zone into the first of 19 corners at Saint-Devote. The cars then rise up towards the casino and plunge back down towards the harbour once again. We have the tyre compounds that are the softest in the Pirelli range. It's the Super Soft, the Ultra Soft, and the debut in 2018 for the Hyper Soft tyre. Just how long will that last at the start of the race? And it should be a one-stop strategy. It looks an absolute picture still, Monaco, but the temperature has dropped, clouds have come over, there is a slight chance of rain in the air, but we don't need rain to spice this race up, Martin Brundle, because anything can happen at Monaco, and over the years it certainly has.
Certainly the big challenge. This is the one the drivers know they will be especially graded on. The driver can make the difference around this track. It's not just all about the car, the downforce, the designers. It's more about what they can achieve too.
It's a tense moment as the lights go on. Ricciardo on pole, Vettel alongside him, Hamilton and Raikkonen just behind. It's lights out and away we go. 227 metres down to turn 1. Ricciardo and Vettel getting very close together. Ricciardo leads from Vettel, from Hamilton, from Raikkonen, Bottas, and Ocon just staying ahead of Fernando Alonso. Through Beau Rivage we go and rising up towards Casino Square. Kimi Raikkonen right behind Lewis Hamilton. Ricciardo pulling away from Sebastian Vettel. We're on board with Max Verstappen, who's already gone past Grosjean and Magnussen right in the start. Perfect
start from Ricciardo, moved over just to check the Ferrari up a little bit and then took his position nicely in the braking zone. Very well behaved through Saint-Devote, I must say, and they were side by side, a lot of them up the hill, and that is not really an overtaking place. Van Dorn's trying to go around the outside, gets pushed back again, but thankfully with no damage to anybody.
Charles Leclerc down at the loose hairpin, fancied having a go, thought better of it as they all concertinaed up. Into the Nouvelle chicane they go now. Ricciardo leading Sebastian Vettel.
So what will Ricciardo do? He's on full tanks of fuel, 100.
So Brendan Hartley down in 15th place at the moment. Lance Stroll, I think, was getting very close to him, lost his front wing.
They've got around 100 kilograms of fuel on board the car, so the car's weighing a bit over 800 sitting on the grid. If they push like crazy, the front left tyre's been grading up. It's a clockwise circuit, you lean on that front left tyre more than anything else. And when you're in all of these slow corners, the traction zones as well really hurt the rear tyres. Will Ricciardo just go like crazy and trying to pull the gap? And that's how he looks at the moment.
Well, let's have a little look at Max Verstappen's progress. Marcus Ericsson rather left the door open there, and Verstappen did not need a second invitation. So it's you'll notice it when the rears start going. You lose a little bit of mechanical grip, they call it. The tyres are getting grip from the tarmac as they heat up and get very, very sticky. Let's see if Verstappen's going to go for it again. Is he going to try and launch one? He is down the inside on Lance Stroll. Stroll saw him coming and knew that it was not worth fighting for that place there. Verstappen picks up another place, he's up to 16th.
The slow Williams has got fuel on board, but he's Lance 6 Stroll. Seconds a lap slower.
Lance Stroll's got a puncture.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's a problem. No. The problem with the car. Well, something happened. A problem with the front end. Something in the front. I don't think I can get back.
And as you can see, the leaders all coming up to Lance Stroll now before he can dive into the pits. Does so just as Daniel Ricciardo gets to him. Now, has Lance Stroll touched the wall somewhere? We often see it. Ted down in the pits, he's coming your way.
He is, he's right in front of me. So Williams, they're already, their best hope for this race was Sergei Sorokin. Stroll's just struggled with the car all weekend long. That's already gone up in a penalty. And so it's a front wing change, as you can see, and the tyres. I wonder if they're going to go to the red. Yes, they are. They're going to the super soft tyres to what might be the end of the race.
Hamilton pits, they've seen it, that's what they wanted to do.
So they reckon they've got a gap. Lewis Hamilton pits, ultra soft tyres going on, and out into the racetrack comes Lewis Hamilton.
Late 16s, I doubt enough, and wow, that was an easy pass, wasn't it?
Young Mercedes driver, Esteban Ocon, slightly older Mercedes driver driving for the works team, Lewis Hamilton. Sebastian Vettel at 60 kilometers an hour, stops on his pit box now. Change of tyres, front wing adjustment, ultra soft tyres going on for Vettel. Where does he come back out into this race? Hamilton has just got to Rascasse, leading the race. Daniel Ricciardo from Kimi Räikkönen. Sebastian Vettel will get to the end of the pit lane now. Who does he come out ahead of or behind? He's onto the racetrack and he's third, ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Ricciardo's in to the pits.
Is looking very ugly indeed with the graining, and there's the race leader. Then they decided to react.
And there, way back in the distance, Sebastian Vettel as Valtteri Bottas pits for Mercedes. Carlos Sainz has been in too. Yeah, no problems this time around for Daniel Ricciardo, who started on pole before and saw his win taken away with a pit stop blunder. Will he still be smiling at the end of 78 laps? He's got another 61 to go this afternoon. Shouldn't need to come into the pits once again.
Losing power.
Losing power was what Daniel Ricciardo just said. Cyril Abiteboul, the Renault team principal on the pit wall for us. I wanted to talk about Nico Hülkenberg, and we'll do that in a moment, but losing power, Cyril, that's not what you want to hear either, I'm sure. Let's hear Ricciardo.
No, but obviously I'm more focused on my race, but obviously I always try to keep an eye on what's going on with the other cars, but you are learning that to me. No, it's not what we want to do.
No, certainly not. Renault engine, of course, in the back of that Red Bull. I wanted to ask you the question, Nico Hülkenberg, how long can he keep going here? Are you hoping for a safety car at some stage to help his race?
Yeah, exactly. We tried something. I think it's not really working our way so far, despite what the statistics are saying. So I think we are looking at the situation carefully, gaps and lap times, and Carlos' race is looking a bit better, so we'll have to make a very good decision, Nico.
Cyril, thank you. We'll be back in a moment. Martin.
Yeah, he's way down on straight line speed is Daniel Ricciardo. Maybe he's going to show up through the tunnel where they get to their higher speed. Is the Ferrari. He's harvesting electrical power as he goes into the tunnel. That's the red flashing light. Will the Ferrari get ever closer to?
There's a problem. Yeah, he's struggling with his power unit. Keep pushing, keep pushing.
Ted, you can see him coming.
I can, yeah, that annoying siren sounds as he comes towards me, and I'm just seeing a bit of action actually for the Mercedes garage. Nice stop, Red Bull, nice stop. I'm just wondering, it's the hyper soft, the pink striped tyres, so Verstappen is going to be super quick. I just wonder if Hamilton's in the mood to throw caution to the wind here, Grumpy. I think he might think, okay, look, I might drop behind Räikkönen and Bottas here, but you know, what the heck, let's go for it.
I just can't help but think Vettel or Hamilton's going to come in and try to go with a super fast car at the end.
We don't have the same power.
And you can see it.
We can't fix it, but we can continue to run like this.
You could see Fernando Alonso slowing down dramatically on that main straight. That message might be a little bit old. Gasly has got past Fernando Alonso, who seemed to be cruising into Sander Vogt, and Sainz and Hülkenberg are catching up Alonso as well. And Alonso, yeah, he has pulled over at Sander Vogt. He has stopped and he's out of the race.
Will that be a
Gearbox.
virtual safety
Okay,
car?
no, understood.
Will they feel we got men in the runoff area down at turn 1?
Sure if it was a slow Mercedes or not. I'm just looking at sector times at the moment, Martin. It doesn't seem to give an indication that it was. Verstappen gets a really good exit out of the final corner. Now he's getting a slipstream behind Carlos Sainz, pulls out to try and go past the Renault. Sainz blocks him off. Remember Grosjean and Verstappen here a few years ago? This time around Verstappen thought caution and was the better part of it, but he's still harrying and hassling the Renault up towards Massenet.
Yeah, copy Lewis, no need to.
Carlos Sainz fancies a Red Bull drive one of these days. And look at this, how close that was. He might have to give that place back. He's got to give that back.
He got the track.
He did. Sainz will have to, in my view, Sainz will have to give that place over.
Does Verstappen have another go here? Does he try it once again, or is he going to rely on the stewards to say, no, give it back? He's going to go for it. Of course he is. He's Max Verstappen. Down towards the chicane he goes. This time he's cut the chicane, but comes back over the curb and still stays ahead of Carlos Sainz. Sainz tries to fight back, through to back. Verstappen gets ahead and moves up race.
Leclerc behind has a problem. Leclerc behind has got the problem. We need to open the gap as much as you can. We are doing a good job.
What is Leclerc's problem? Is Leclerc actually going to go for it here? And oh, he can't stop! And he has gone straight on into Brendan Hartley. You could see that that was coming. Charles Leclerc's first ever home Grand Prix in Monaco has ended with retirement.
I wondered if he just got it caught up against the barrier on the right-hand side. Because
Virtual safety car, sorry Martin.
they've
Virtual
just
safety
passed
car.
the pits, haven't they? The leaders, some of the leaders have just passed the pits.
Ricciardo and Vettel and Hamilton have passed the pits. Unless there's a huge amount of debris, this virtual safety car is not going to last
You
long.
saw a big puff there. You did see his left front brake fail. As soon as he hit the brakes, puff of black carbon dust and brake failure then. It won't slow down. He did actually rub the barrier, but the problem came before that. That'll be a shot you'll see in the magazines in the week and on Sky F1 website.
So as it goes green, Daniel Ricciardo has a McLaren in between himself and his nearest challenger, Sebastian Vettel.
And he got on it much earlier than Vettel did. So that worked perfectly for Ricciardo. Built him a gap, as you rightly say, with a car in between them for good measure.
He's been brilliant. He's never won from pole before. He's never won from the top three before. He had pole here in Monaco. Once upon a time, he had the win taken away from him through no fault of his own. Today in Monte Carlo, it's redemption day for Daniel Ricciardo. He wins the Monaco Grand Prix, and he will celebrate that for a long, long time to come. Sebastian Vettel comes home to take second place and close Lewis Hamilton's championship lead. Hamilton in third place completes the podium lineup ahead of Kimi Räikkönen and Valtteri Bottas fighting it out to the finish.
Absolutely amazing. I don't know how you did that, Daniel. Incredible. Holy.
Holy tomorrow. Cheers, boys. Redemption.
Didn't make it easy for you, mate. Oh, it didn't make it easy. I did not know you did that.
Unbelievable. You have done an amazing job today. That is right up there with what Schumacher did in 1995. And this is payback for 2016.
Well, Christian Horner getting very emotional as well, as you can imagine. That would have been tense on the pit wall today in the extreme.
What he's referring to is Schumacher stuck in fifth gear, still in Barcelona, I believe it was, in the rain, still managing to win the race.
It's so strong.